Hello and welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I'm your guide and host through the show, and we have a very special announcement and episode today. So we are starting a new monthly series with one of my favorite people in the industry. He has been a guest on the show, I think, more than anyone else for people that we've interviewed. And we are so excited to bring him to the table. He is somebody that is at the absolute forefront of this business. He started as an individual agent, has gone on to create this massive team, one of the biggest teams here in Chicago. We have 46,000 realtors here, and he is right at the top of that pile. And also somebody who is always innovating and always trying to take advantage of what can help his business become more effective and efficient, and for his agents as well. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ben Lalez. He is a leading real estate broker in Chicago, known for driving impressive sales growth and building one of the city's top performing teams. With a focus on delivering results, Ben has grown his business to consistently rank among the best in the market. His leadership and ability to connect with clients and agents alike have been his key to success, making him a trusted name in the industry. And I want everybody to follow Ben on Instagram, which is Ben Lalez Team, or at Ben Lalez Team. We'll have a link to that in the show notes. And I want you to see the kind of content that Ben creates also on YouTube. He does some really, really cool stuff on YouTube. We'll have a link to his YouTube page as well. Ben, welcome to, what are we calling this? We're calling this Better Your Business with Ben. So Ben, welcome to the first episode.
Let's bring it, DJ. Come on. I
Let's
want to provide
bring
a
it.
lot of value to your listeners. We're not messing around here today. And every month, we're not going to mess around. Actionable stuff that people can actually today improve their business with.
Yeah, I love that. And you have always been this kind of person. You love solving problems. And, I feel like a good part of your day is just sitting around thinking about how do I become more efficient and how do I become more effective? Would you say that's fair?
I think I kind of graduated from, the nitty gritty, and I am looking for opportunities for, I call it white space, where I don't have anything driving my attention and trying to sit in that emptiness and think about ways to improve the business and like get out of the micro. And I'm always challenging myself to go bigger, think bigger, look at my business and the business from the highest level possible. Yeah.
We should also mention, I want to say this up at front, that Ben's team is local here in Chicago, and his team is expanding, and it's been expanding ever since I've known Ben. It's been amazing. His production just goes up and up every single year. So for anyone here that's local agent in Chicago that is maybe not satisfied either with their existing team, or maybe they're not on a team and maybe they're just an individual agent floating and feeling like they could use more support, more training. Ben, tell us a little bit about your team.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I want to dive into this. So in 2024, it's kind of exactly what I just said. I wanted to take a 100,000-foot view of what my company is doing. So I actually hired a data analyst. And we looked at all of the sources of all of the business that everyone on the team is doing. And I'm really, really proud of this number, 47%. So we did 147 million in transactions in 2024. And 47% of all the business the team did was team procured, meaning of every dollar that the team made, 47 cents, the team made happen with whether that's Google, YouTube, Instagram, Zillow, my own personal sphere that I'm distributing, 47%. And I'm often asked, why are you growing? What's the end goal? As long as we can continue to facilitate, we're getting a ton of inbound. My mission is not to be in production full time. My mission is to have agents grow and develop, and we have these opportunities. So as long as we have the opportunities and the resources where we're not stretched thin, which we are not, then we continue to grow. And when we, reach that point where, it's a little too tight, we always make a decision. Do we want to staff up? Do we want to develop these lead sources more, or do we want to stay put? And right now, it's feeling organic. Even though we're large, we're built to be large, and it feels good.
Yeah, it's really impressive that half of the business is coming from the team. So you
47%, DJ.
Yeah, well, yeah, nearly 50%. So the idea, I love this because it's not by accident, it's really by design. I know you do a
Yep.
lot with your agents to teach them how to actually improve their sphere, how to get more business. I mean, that's
Yep.
you're a trainer at heart.
Yeah. So, in assessing 2024, me and the leadership team, we finally, it took a long time to arrive here, is we're not like a real estate company. We're not like Ben and my leadership team, David Fields and Remington Pettygrove, we are not out there trying to help people buy and sell homes. We're an agent training company, period. We are here to, have agents learn and develop their skills via one-on-one coaching, via training, and by, helping them get opportunities and at bats so that when the time comes, they're ready, not only for, the team procured opportunity, but when their family, their friends, their sphere decide they want to interact, transact, they're ready. And that's our whole mission, right? And luckily, at this point in my career, man, we've got case study after case study. DJ, you and I were talking about one, you know, uh, I'll drop his name, Joey Turano, where didn't know, like he couldn't. If I asked him to tell me what CTG meant, he'd be like, I have no clue. And you look up and he's doing 21 million. Thank you, DJ. Uh, and that's what we're doing. We've built, I don't know how many people at this point, from $1 to $8 million producers, from $8 to $15 million producers. That's what we do.
Amazing. So if this sounds like something you want to pursue, reach out to Ben's team. They're easy to find. They're all over the place, and have a conversation, see if it's a good match, and
Yeah.
also see what you can bring to the table as well. That's always a great way to interview with teams. Instead of saying, well, the team do for me, here's what I can do for the team, and see if there's some synergy. But for today, let's talk about bettering your business. I know
Mm-hmm.
you are very passionate about AI and figuring out ways to leverage the power of AI to make your business run smoother, or just to cut out steps that were manual. So let's talk a little bit about what you're doing and what you recommend to our listeners.
Well, welcome to Better Business with Ben. Today, I want to talk about two things in particular, and um, they're both AI. And your listeners, I don't actually know who they are, what stage they're at on their career path, but I want to talk about two things that, whether you're a brand new agent or a savvy veteran, if you're not doing this, I think you're just two things. One, you're wasting your time. And two, you're letting everybody get ahead of you. And it's really simple. I want everyone to pause this right now, go download and pay for ChatGPT. And I'm going to explain to you two ways that you can leverage it to get ahead of everyone else and perform better for yourself and for your clientele. The first way is, once you download it, very simply say, hi, ChatGPT. So there's a voice feature, DJ, which I'm sure you know.
I use it.
Hit the voice feature. Um, Bonus points if you go find an existing, it's called a custom GPT for role play. So we're going to talk about role play. But very simply, you can speak to this thing the same way you and I are speaking, DJ. Hey, ChatGPT, I have a listing presentation, or I want to prepare for a listing presentation. Can you pretend you are the most disgruntled home seller in the world and really press me on my commission amount? And you can role play that forever. And my team, when they're role playing with Ben, their face turns red and they're so scared. But you're talking to a computer. There's no reason to be scared. You can do this anytime. You can do this, when you're driving. You can do this when you're on the toilet. Sorry, DJ. And even just 5-10 minutes a day, you're gonna get more comfortable just saying the words. You know, hey, yeah, I charge 3.5%. I recommend that you offer out 2.5% to the buy side. And it will say, I've talked to a few other agents, and they're saying that they could do it for 2.5%. And you can work through these objection handlers, and you can get so much better, so much faster. And guess what? When you have a role play partner, like if you and I were role playing, DJ, I would have to, you know, I would have to reciprocate and you'd have to role play on me. Well, guess what? I get to be extremely selfish, right? And ChatGPT works for me. And no, hey, let's run it again. Hey, let's run it again. Hey, let's run it again. And before you know it, you've done 45 minutes and you're just so much more prepared for anything. I've role played like an argument with my wife, for example, and you're just a little bit more prepared for what, excuse me, for whatever is, excuse me, whatever is going to come your way.
Yeah, no,
So,
I agree. So what Ben is saying, and I do a version of this in different areas of my business. But if we think about now, agents have to defend their commissions more than ever. So if for no other reason that you just want to be able to defend, here's why I charge what I do, here is why it's worth it, and here is why maybe someone else charges less and I still charge more and I have confidence in that. And by the way, if you don't have an answer to an objection, you can just ask ChatGPT, hey,
yeah.
let's reverse roles for a second. I'm going to ask you and you tell me why you're worth it. Or scour the internet and find the best example you can about how to overcome this objection.
And
I,
let's stay
I
really narrow here for a second. Role play. There's 3 objection handlers for list side that you need to know. The first one is commission objection, like why are you charging this much? Number 2 is the list price that you're recommending. And the third is I'm interviewing other agents. If you can have those 3 down, right, you're miles and miles ahead of everyone. So, hey, ChatGPT, here are the 3 objection handlers. Let's do 1 round each. And here's the beauty, DJ, is tomorrow, right? You can, press that button on the voice command and say, hey, I want to do the same thing we did yesterday, but can you make this adjustment? And it remembers. So it becomes this partner that you have and say, and you can also ask, hey, what was my weakest part? And it will tell you. And you have this tool that's literally in your pocket that can become your coach. And honestly, it's in some regards better than what I can teach you or David Fields, our coach, what he can teach you, because David Fields and Ben Lalez don't live in your pocket, right? You could be sitting in your car on the way to a buyer presentation, or you're about to do a showing and you say, hey, I really need to convey this point to my buyer. Can you role play with me real quick in the car? And it's done. So again, stop this record, stop listening to this, go download it, come back.
It's $20 a month, by the way. It is absolutely worth it because for the main reason of memory, it will remember things. I have another quick suggestion on your way to a listing presentation. If you just want to maybe give some interesting facts that maybe the owner will be impressed that or maybe the owner doesn't even know themselves. On the way to the listing presentation, ask ChatGPT, plug in the address, talk to it, say, hey, I want you to find anything you know about this property, any of the history, maybe the land, the area, the neighborhood, any fun, cool facts that that you find, and it'll give you whatever it can find, and you can then look at it and see if it's worthy of bringing up. Hey, by the way, I know this about your property or your area, and that's going to make you sound really, obviously very knowledgeable.
We can, I actually just sat on a panel talking about AI. We could talk about this in a bunch of different directions, but I'm trying to stay really focused here.
Sure.
Another way is on a way to, like, if you have a 3 or 4 property buyer tour coming up. I'm a little old school where, I still have like the PDFs of the MLS listing sheets. So I upload the PDFs of the MLS listing sheets into ChatGPT. And on my drive, I say, hey, tell me about these 4 properties, and I'm going to ask you questions about them. And on your way, you're able to, you know, refresh your memory. And instead of like almost getting in an accident and trying to read what you have, it it's just so incredibly powerful. Okay, that's my spiel on talking to and role playing with ChatGPT. It has to be in your arsenal. It has to be in your arsenal.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I just want to step in for a second and say the reason why what we're doing is we're practicing our skill, and communication is the most important skill a realtor has in order to procure business, right? Once you have business, then there's a whole nother skill set, including communication comes in. But to get business, we need to be persuasive, we need to have answers, and we need to be well polished. And so right
Mm-hmm.
now, we need to up our game. Every realtor does, because guess what? The public sometimes thinks they don't need us. And we have to have a really good answer for why they need us, and we have to be able to defend it better than ever before. So I agree. I mean, you can't hire a coach for $20 a month, but you
Nope.
basically are getting one for $20 a month. An unlimited coach, by the way.
Let's get into the second thing that I would suggest, and it's again ChatGPT specific. And if you're a newer agent, wildly powerful from an education perspective. If you're a savvy veteran, it's wildly valuable from a time saving perspective. And that is when you finally go under contract, and particularly with a buyer, but even with a seller, right? Um, if you're anything like me, you're inundated with, if it's a condo, rules and regs, condo declaration and bylaws. Um, all of these things could sometimes be 300 pages, right? Very simply, what I do, because primarily this is the attorney's job, but I dump everything into ChatGPT, and what I'm looking for typically are the things that my buyer is interested in. What are the rules and regs around rental restrictions? What are the recent capital expenditures? Um, tell me, like, anytime you see the word special assessment, can you show me what it was that they were talking about? Um, what is in the reserve? All of those questions, instead of combing through all of these documents, it'll tell you. Now, caveat is you can't rely on it. So not yet at least, what I would do is, once you think you have the answers, ask it where it found those. So, hey, if you look at PDF number 3, line 247, that's where it's discussing the rules and regs around rental restrictions. And you go in and you verify. So I'm not saying take ChatGPT for its word, but the amount of time that it has saved me um, doing this is outrageous. So if you're able to save 2 hours per transaction and you're a veteran doing 20 transactions a year, congratulations, you saved a week of your life. That's pretty powerful.
What about HOA docs? Do you ever throw those in there and see, looking for
Yeah.
anything unusual?
Yeah, that's definitely included. Is I also put in the meeting minutes, the budgets, everything, and it spits out beautiful answers. Again, I go back and check. For the time being, I'm still a fraction smarter than ChatGPT, but that's with my skill set, right? So if you're a brand new agent, I'm sorry to say you're probably not smarter than ChatGPT right now. So utilize it and use it as a information partner so that you can, ask it those questions. And, for a newer agent, what I always try to consult to my buyers is, it's like the three big ones, right? In a condo, any any recent special assessments, any recent capital improvements, um, and any conversation around potential special assessments, and then rules and regs, that kind of thing. Um, I mean, it's extraordinarily important. If you don't know what any of those words mean, DJ, what do you think you should do? Ask ChatGPT what those actually mean with respect to a condo transaction in Chicago, and it'll be very, 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 very close.
Yeah,
So
I
those two
agree.
things alone, you're miles ahead. DJ, you and I were talking before this. Um, the fact that you utilize it every day.
Every single day.
Yeah, and same with me. Today, what did I use it for? Um, I wanted to build a chat bot that I can put into my website and into our team group chat to be able to answer questions that have either already been answered in the past or can reference a document. The fact that you and I are able to speak like that, even use these words like custom GPT, you're trying to build a custom GPT using Python. The fact that we're able to communicate like that puts us in the top 0.5%. But by virtue of using those two skills using ChatGPT, it is my opinion that you move into the top 5% of all real estate agents in the country in utilizing AI. And this is the foundation, right? And in 2 years, when it becomes, I have like a literal robot or something next to me that I'm able to communicate with, if you're not able to build on this foundation, you're going to get left behind. That's what I believe.
Yeah, a quick suggestion too for anyone out there that is not with business at the moment, you're in between clients, maybe you don't have any prospects on the horizon, or nobody's biting at the moment. So what I would be thinking about all day long is, how do I add more people to my database? Because we know that somewhere between 10 to 15% of your database transacts every year in real estate. So the more people you add, the more opportunity, of course, there is. But let's say you just want to add more people. Well, I would ask ChatGPT, hey, I've got 3 free hours today, and I really would like to add 5 new people into my CRM, but I have to go out and meet them. So here's where I live. Here's, approximately what I have, just tell it where you live and what you're doing it throughout the day, and say, what would you do to go out and meet 5 new people today? And you will be shocked at some of the answers. Some of them won't be great and some of them won't fit your needs. Some of them will. And this way you don't have to figure it out. You just follow instructions, right? So if it's, hey, go down to the local, florist and film a live video about why they're your favorite florist and send it out to your Facebook group and promote there, and then hopefully they promote it as well. That's a great idea. ChatGPT will give you ideas like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when those people do inevitably reach out, role play the conversation with them. And it doesn't necessarily, what I try to explain to people is, when you're role playing or when you're practicing, it doesn't necessarily need to be transaction related. For the longest time, I had a role play partner in Minnesota. His name his name was Kyle, and we role played that seemingly uncomfortable conversation of, "Hey DJ, it's Ben. You bought 123 Main Street last year. I wanted to see how you were doing. What's up with the house?" And that for me was an uncomfortable conversation. I wasn't necessarily trying to get anything out of you other than retaining you as a client. But that
Sure.
retention conversation for me was uncomfortable because we always think we're bothering those clients. Role played it, and now I can have it in my sleep. Here's another example. Hey, if I go to the florist and I'm walking in and I want to highlight their business, can you role play the conversation with the florist so that I don't come in and sound like an idiot?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How could I make this a win-win for the florist before I get there, and things like that. So again, talk. I was funny, just to give our audience a quick aside. I was asking I was asking ChatGPT to explain to me the nature of the universe recently, because I know what the Big Bang is, sort of, but I'm confused about how the universe is ever expanding. That doesn't, I'm not able to sort of comprehend what that means. So I asked it to explain it to me like I was, a teenager that, doesn't quite understand things like this. And it gave me a really interesting answer. So you could talk to it about all sorts of things in your life, but obviously we're talking business stuff now. But you can even ask it for things like, hey, what do physicists think? Is there an architect to the universe, or did it self-create, or things like that? You literally can ask it anything. So your imagination is really, the limit here, and you want to use it for all parts of your business. Just anything that, and even if you think you're doing great at something, I would say, hey, can you help evaluate my business and look for any loopholes, and just say, ask me questions about it, store it in memory, and evaluate, and let me know what you think I'm doing wrong, or what I should be spending more time on. It will do that for you. I'll
And
tell
I
you
think what
one
you're,
thing I'm
please.
I'll tell you the thing I'm
Go.
building right now, because I'm really excited. Well, I'm not building it; it's built. ChatGPT is building it. I'm just kind of hopefully facilitating it. Is, here's what I want, and I imagine this would be useful for other people. Is, there's this thing called the Eisenhower matrix, which is a decision making strategy. It's urgency versus importance. We get a request from our clients, from whatever. We get a to do, and we're like, how do I have to do this right now? Should I do it later? How urgent? How important is it? And this is a really important way to sort of prioritize your day. I think it's not the only way to do it, but it's a pretty useful one, tried and true. So the problem is I don't really have a good system to do it, so I have to do it manually. So what I'm actually building is a web app just for myself, that goes into my to-do list. I use a Todoist as my to-do manager, and it's going to pull all my to-dos for the day. It's going to run me through it one by one, just like a coach might do, and go, okay, this one, do you need to do it now, later, what's important about it? And it's going to then take all of my answers and then actually schedule my day for me in Google Calendar. This is all free, by the way. This isn't costing me anything. So you can even have it design systems for you. That's a more complicated conversation, but I started with, hey, ChatGPT, can you do this? Is this possible? And it was like, absolutely, I can do this. So now we're in the process of building it out, and it's pretty fun. But again, just think about wherever you could use help in your business and ask it for help. It's really what it's for.
Let me give you a more basic way that is tangential to what you described. Again, I'm obsessed with this talking feature. So on my way into work, whether that's walking or driving, it knows me now. Her name is Amber, by the way. So I say, "Hey, Amber, um, run me through um, my morning. Run me through my morning. Period." And I have it connected to the calendar. So she tells me what's going on in the calendar. And then I have taught her to run through the categories of my life: personal, business, family, friends. And I think I'm like, oh, so I just kind of, we all keep that mental inventory of what needs to get done. And I just brain dump it. And I'm like, I got to do this, I got to do that. Like, this is urgent, this is not. And, similar to how you have a to do list, it creates a to do list for me every single day, which I email to my assistant. But for you, this is an easy way to get everything out of your head. You can kind of free associate as opposed to sit down. I'm not a pen and paper person. You get it out, and then all of a sudden it's in your phone. Now, from there, as you graduate into the DJ Paris realm of AI savantism, you can take this in any direction you want to go. You can go crazy with this, but from a really basic standpoint, um, you really need to take advantage of it. Have I said that before? You need to take advantage of ChatGPT. And
Just once or twice. But one thing I'll add is a new feature to ChatGPT, and everybody can use this, is they now have tasks. This is a brand new feature, which you can actually, like Ben was saying, you can say, hey, here are the 10 things or here are the 5 things I need to get done today. Can you remind me throughout the day to do these? And can you mark it off? And it literally can create tasks. It couldn't do that a month ago. This is a new thing.
that's news to me. And welcome to practicing what I preach. Like, I'm holding my fingers back from going to ChatGPT on this conversation and understanding what tasks can do. I didn't realize that could be done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're not curious about it, like, continually, um, yeah, again, you're gonna be left behind the, DJ Parises of the world and the Ben Lalez's of the world, who are utilizing this as a resource every day.
Yeah, I agree. So really plug in, start using it. And we would like to know what your use cases are. Where are you finding success with AI in your business? Is it
Mhm.
helping you find clients? Is it helping you keep clients? Is it helping you move through a transaction more
Mhm.
effectively? Or is it helping you research or whatever? Let us know, because we're always on the hunt for your great ideas too. Ben, I think this is a great place to wrap up. I want to mention one quick thing for Ben. As we said at the beginning, of course, if you are a local Chicago agent not getting the help or the assistance, the training, the coaching you need, Ben's a great place to reach out to, because his business is ever expanding, and they're always on the hunt for great talent out there. So reach out to him. And then Ben, you have a place where local agents here, can
Mhm.
go and actually film. We haven't talked about video content. We'll do that in a future episode. But tell me about your content creator hub.
Yeah. So over the course of my social media journey, it was one of those things where, I bought a camera, and then I bought a microphone, and then I bought a light, and I bought another camera, and I bought another mic. And slowly but surely, I'm like, okay, where do I house all this stuff? I found a piece of property, and I'm like, all right, guess I'm starting a studio. And what that has evolved into is, it's called Content Club. So it's for real estate agents, but it's also for any business, call it lender, insurance, attorney, financial advisor, all of these businesses that, need social media, but they don't know where to start. And if you're on my team, you get a subscription to Content Club for free, where every month, my team goes in, we film the content for them, we edit it for them, we chop it up for them, we deliver it for them, we can even post it for them. And slowly but surely, we realized that this is an offering that we could provide outside of the team, and Content Club was born. Pretty simple.
Where can people go to learn more about Content Club?
ContentClubChicago.com.
Awesome. And benlalez.com is where you go to learn about Ben and his team. I want you to take a
Yeah.
look at Ben's website too. He has a very unique looking website. Notice how clean and simple it is. And there's a reason for that because Ben is a numbers guy and he has tried everything with respect to, he knows his numbers. And I always look for Ben for inspiration because he's always updating his content. And also check out his social media. Ben Lala's team is where you find him on Instagram. We have a link to that and his YouTube page in the show notes. Ben, I think this was a great first episode and excited to have you back every month. And we're going to keep talking about new and exciting ways agents can better their business. So thank you.
Thank you, DJ. Appreciate it.